and Ashley Olson. And we're going to start this again. Okay.
Go for it.
Hi, my name is Bobby Pirro. On this crew tonight is going to be Carl Small and Ashley Olson. We're going to be doing the do's and don'ts of professionalism. We're going to do it by a little role playing, as a mentor will speak to their mentees on the phone or in person. So we're going to just go through this, and we will present it a slide after the presentation. Okay, Ash, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Hey, Ash, how you doing?
Great. I was just calling to talk to you about the camp I recently went to. I had a great experience.
Okay, great. How'd it go?
Well, I'm so glad we had that conversation about what not to do when going to camp. I really feel like it prepared me for what I should expect and how to carry myself. So I knew I was going to be one of the first games of the day, and so I made sure to arrive well before the registration time, as I was not sure if there was going to be a locker room or like a designated area for us to change. I took your advice and went dressed in business casual. I think that made a great impression on them, those observing the camp. As I was waiting for registration to start, I saw a couple of people in the same area I was waiting. We ended up making eye contact. I went over to them and introduced myself. Turns out one of them was the coordinator looking to hire more officials, and another was an observer at the camp and a Division I official as well. We had a great conversation. I mentioned to them that this is one of my first tryout camps, and the conversation we had following was awesome. They made me feel so comfortable even before I got on the floor, and said that they would definitely come to see me work, which they did. So I was very happy about that. I think if I had not taken your advice about dressing well, they may not have given me the time of day, if you know what I mean.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that. First impressions are so important in this application. The old adage, dress for success, is everything. I have stressed this to many of my mentees, and I'm glad you listened and took the advice. So tell me more.
So after registration,
Can you all hear me? I just want to make, Joe, can you hear me? Okay, cool. I am fixing the
Here a review of camp. Okay, great. Absolutely everything is dressed to impress. First impression is everything. So I'm glad that you listened, Ashley. Please tell me more about camp.
All right, so after registration, they directed me to the changing area, where I happened to bump into the other officials I would be working with on the first game. We began to chat, and since it was the first time we started working together, I brought up having a really quick pregame before the initial welcome to camp started. They both agreed it would be a great idea. So we had an awesome pregame, Bobby. We were all contributing, even building on each other's comments. It was definitely one of the best pregames I have been a part of.
That's great. Now, I've mentioned to you about knowing the basic camp rules, and of course, mechanics, meaning three-person mechanics system, and signals for fouls and violations. How did you do with that?
I have been in the rules and the CCA manual since we had that conversation, and it definitely paid off. The majority of the observers that gave me feedback said my mechanics and positioning on the court were very strong, and I'm somewhat new, even though I was somewhat new to officiating. During one of our crew's feedback sessions, I kind of got mixed signals though. I was told one thing earlier, so I tried to implement it into the next game. Then when I did, another observer said, I should not do that. I recall the conversation you and I had, like this, and not being that yeah, but referee. And I figured I would just discuss it with you or another official that I could trust. So at the time, I just listened in, take it in, shook my head yes, and said thank you. But you and I can talk about that later.
You're absolutely correct, Ash. Right thing to do. You do not want to be seen as that yeah, but referees. When coordinators and observers hear younger or newer or even veteran officials say that to them, they're saying, I know everything. And that's not the referee that a coordinator wants on their staff. They want someone they believe is teachable. Yeah, but referees are not seen as teachable.
Yeah, I get that.
So what else happened?
So I made sure that when I was giving feedback, I kept eye contact with the observer. If there was something I did not understand, I would wait until they were finished talking rather than jump in and cut them off. When others were being observed and giving feedback, I would listen and learn a lot from some of the conversations as well. I didn't comment, I would just stand there and listen.
That's a great way to make yourself seen and also learn from others and what they do well and what they need to improve on. I'm glad you did that as well, Ash, because you never know. You could pick up something to add to your game or pick up something that you're doing wrong that you shouldn't be doing. Also a good way to make new friends and meet people.
Yeah, I did that as well.
How were the classroom sessions? Were they informative?
So I damn near filled up my entire notebook from notes with camp. So contact information from observers, coordinators, a whole bunch of other stuff. I remember you telling me once that you had went to camp, you had kept a separate notebook with you during your games, so that after you received feedback from an observer, you would immediately write it down. And they told you what they told you, and I thought that was an awesome idea. Totally use that. I kept a little notepad in my bag I had with me during my games, and after every feedback session, I would grab it and jot down important things they told me and the whole crew.
What about the after party at the last day of camp, that they had the evening? How'd that go?
Yeah, so the last night of camp, they had a gathering at the hotel restaurant where the majority of the campers and the observers stayed. I made sure to stay at that hotel, and it was a great decision because none of the teams that were playing in the tournament were at that hotel. At the gathering, they had served food, drinks, adult beverages, and just about all the campers, coordinators, and observers were there. So it was a good time to just chill, relax, get to know people, and let people know who you are off the court. I made sure to have a drink as I didn't want to seem like an outcast, but only drank moderately as I didn't want to make a fool of myself or, make them believe I was an alcoholic or something. Some others did not take that route, and it wasn't a good look for them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that happen often. I'm glad you did what you did. So overall, Ash, how was the experience?
It was awesome. I'm so glad we were able to talk beforehand. You gave me all the good information to go into camp with. The second I got home, I sent an email to the director of the camp, thanking them for the experience. Just today, I got an email from the initial coordinator that I spoke to at the beginning of camp and found out I'm being added to their staff. I'm so excited and can't thank you enough. I may not have known to do all the stuff you told me to do had you not been my mentor and shown me the correct ways of doing things.
That's awesome, Ash. And I'm very happy and excited for you. I work for that coordinator as well. And I'm so happy that I'll be having an opportunity to work together with you.
That would be great. Anyway, thanks for your time, Bobby. Just want to let you know how it went. I got to run. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, Bobby.
Bye, Ash.
Okay, all right, so go ahead, Bobby.
Okay. Our next segment up is the don'ts, and Carl and I are going to play that role. And Carl has volunteered to be the bad guy. Not bad guy, but the heavy.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go, Carl. Hey, Carl, how you doing? It's been a long time since we spoke. What's going on?
Bobby, all is well. Hope all is well with you. You know what? My bad. Sorry, I should have reached out to you a while ago. I've just been busy. I've been doing a lot of games, so I thought things were going good.
Okay, no worries. I could have also checked in with you, but it's okay. So what's going on?
So I literally found out about this tryout camp. The assigners that run the camp assign Division I and Division II games. And since I figured I'm doing JUCO and D3, I should be a shoo-in. I felt like I was ready. So, I registered and went to the camp about 2 weeks prior. I registered.
I think I know that camp. One of my other mentees, Ashley Olsen, attended the same camp, and I was just talking to her about it.
Yeah, Ash. I know Ash. She looked awesome out there, Bobby. I mean, I was lucky enough to watch one of her games. Man, she looked great.
Yeah, we had a great conversation before the camp. I kind of guided her through some of the do's and don'ts to get her ready to go, just to get her back to basics. She did tell me she had a great experience at camp. I wish we would have spoken before you went to camp as well. But tell me your experience at the camp.
Okay, well, here's how it started. The camp coordinators, they sent us our schedule a couple days prior to the camp started. It turned out that I had one of the first games of the camp. So I figured it was best to go, ready to ref. So I went, dressed to ref because I wasn't sure if there'd be a changing room or anything.
Wait, hold on. Carl, don't tell me you wore your stripes to camp.
Bobby, come on now, man. I wouldn't wear my stripes. The stripes were in my bag, folded neatly up. But I had my pants on and my ref shoes. I was ready to go. All I had to do was throw them on and put my whistle on. I was good to go.
Not a good idea, Carl. Camp, especially tryout camps, you got to treat it like a job interview. Matter of fact, when you step on a court wearing those stripes, you should feel the same way because you know everyone is watching. First impressions, Carl.
Good point, Bobby. You know what? I wish we would have talked before camp. I didn't know, but I figured since this first game, better to be ready to go. And I mean, I only got there like 10 minutes before registration started, so I think it might have been good that I was kind of dressed. But I mean, I do realize my error now.
Okay, so overall, tell me about the rest of the camp.
Well, there was this one play. Sure, I got it correct, Bobby. It was a competitive game. We just got off the court. The observers were giving us feedback. Blood was still pumping. And one of the observers said to me that a call that I made might have changed the outcome of the game. So as I started responding, I said, yeah, but...
No, Carl, don't tell me you were that yeah, but official. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That's like the last thing any coordinator, observer, or any other official who tries to help you want to hear. When you use that term, it's like you know everything.
They think I know. You know what, Bobby? I remember we did have that conversation. One of our first conversations that we had. I do remember you telling me that.
All right, so go on. What else happened?
So I noticed when refs weren't on the court, and this is actually something I saw Ashley doing as well, and there were no classroom sessions or anything like that. They would listen in on observers giving other crews feedback. I didn't feel like it was a good thing to do because I felt like I'd be like butting in and being nosy, No,
that is a great way to learn something you think you know, but you don't. Interacting with other officials and observers is a great way to learn and to be seen as someone who's taking camp seriously.
That's a great point, Bobby. So there was one more thing. At the end of camp, they kind of had this event for everybody at the hotel. I didn't stay at that hotel, and it was a bad idea because I ended up running into a team that I refereed, but whatever. So they had like an open bar and free food, and it was kind of awesome. You know what I mean?
Don't tell me you got wasted. What did
Bobby,
I say earlier?
Open bar. It was open bar. It was free food. All the wings, mozzarella sticks, and fries that you can eat. I mean, it was like 2 hours. What was I supposed to do? I spent a lot of money to go to this camp, Bobby. And I figured it was the best way to get my money back, especially if they're not going to hire me.
What did I say earlier? You never know who's watching. A lot of coordinators do this like this because they want to see how officials are as people off the court as well. They see you getting wasted and shoveling food in your mouth. That's not someone they want on their staff. Remember, the saying goes, they look for reasons not to hire you.
Not to hire you. You're right. You were 100% right. Well, I mean, overall, I thought I had a pretty good camp. They told us they would reach out to us within a few days, to let us know if we were getting hired. I didn't hear back, so I sent an email to one of the coordinators asking, why didn't he hire me? Like, come on now.
Well, you got your answer
there,
right there.
Yeah, I still haven't heard back, so I guess I got my answer.
You have to be a professional. And if you by what you've seen and the actions at camp, you were not. So it's time for me and you to get back to basics.
Bobby, you're 100% correct. I'm really glad you're my mentor. I really appreciate your honesty. And you know what? Your guidance has always been dead on. And that's probably why you're my favorite mentor of all time.
Carl, you're going to make me blush.
All right, Bobby, let me run. It was good talking to you. I've definitely learned from my mistakes and I'm going to correct them going forward.
Okay, great. So that was our little role plays in the do's and don't. Real quick, do's. Reach out to a mentor. If you don't have one, find someone you admire and their actions coming on and off the court. And if you're afraid to reach out, call your coordinator, your assigner, your high school assigner. They'll help you get in touch with a good mentor. Show up dressed to impress, just like any job. You want to be seen, dress casual for a basketball, maybe khakis, easy shoes, and a collared shirt. Be on time. If you're 15 minutes Early, you're just barely on time, because when you go to camp, you have to wait online. You're going to get your brochure, your numbers, your package, whatever. Pre-game, find out beforehand who your partners are. Text them. Be that person that texts everyone the day before who your game 1, 2, and 3, who you are, where you're going to meet. You get together, do a real quick pre-game. Hone in on your listening skills. Even I've been doing this for over 20 years and I still can learn new things. Don't be the person who thinks they know everything. Personal responsibility and accountability. Okay. At the parties, drink moderately and eat moderately. Okay. You want to be there. It's a social gathering, and always follow up on your camp to thank the coordinators and the camp coordinators. And your dues. Don't assume your mentor will reach out, because they probably have 3 or 4 other mentees. Wearing your uniform upon arrival. If you get there early enough, you'll have plenty of time to change if you're wearing business casual. Meet at jump ball. That's the thing about you being on time, having your pregame. And take the yeah, but out of your vocabulary for camp, period. Be the spectator, listen, watch, go from court to court in between your other games if you have time. And by all means, take advantage of your foods if they have free food, but everything in moderation. Goes the same thing for life. And always solicit feedback, the good and bad. And somewhere in between that's how you're going to grow as a person and as an official. That's how I feel. Anything to add, Carl and Ash?
No, are you getting the prompt to go back to the main session, clinicians?
Yeah, they're going to be taking us off soon. So I think
Very soon.
yeah, the classroom people are going to stay, and they're going to be moving us.
Okay, because I'm getting a prompt to move to the next one.
Okay, so am I.
All right.
So they're going to be moving us?
You have to press the join button. So thank you, everyone. That was our do's and don'ts professionalism. I hope everyone has a great camp season this summer. You're always welcome to reach out to me, Bobby, or Carl. If you have any questions, you can send it directly to info@wcboo.com, or you can reach out to us directly. I mean, I'm always open to giving out my email address to anyone who needs additional feedback. So I'm more than happy to hear from you all. So thank you all, and I hope you enjoy our last presentation.
And really quick, anybody out there who's looking for a mentor, definitely that same email address, you can reach out and we'll definitely link you up with somebody who will be happy to mentor you in your officiating progress.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night.